For fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins, make sure you guys go check out my sponsor U4GM Coins. Use code VENOM at checkout for 5% off your order. Yo, what's good guys? Venom Fire here, back from the video, and today we bring you guys another defensive scheme. This one's going to be out of the Big Dime 146, and it's going to be a little bit of a man/zone concept. So starting out, what you want to do is adjust your zone drops. Now in today's video, you're gonna adjust your flats, just your your clad flats to 20 yards. That's what I personally like to have them on. And again, I'll talk about some of the adjustments you can do later. Now, this is gonna be again a man-to-zone concept. So we're gonna be running mainly man, but we got a couple of zones behind it. Now, this concept is something I actually ran pretty much all of Madden 19. This is a concept I ran out of the big nickel over G formation, but I'm going to run it out of the 146. Today, I feel like it's definitely better out of 146 with the 3-man rush. We know how good the pass rush is nowadays, so you can definitely take advantage of that. Now, one thing about the 146 is you can get safety tier linebacker. We got Anthony Levine, and we got Deshaun Elliott right there. So we got a total of 8 defensive backs on the field with our 3 defensive linemen. Definitely nice to have all that speed on the field. And again, you can really run it out of any base cover 2 play, but I personally like to just run it out of the Tampa 2. Because really it just leaves you the least amount of adjustments. So yeah, we'll just go ahead, come out in that Tampa 2, and I'll try and run a variety of plays. I'm actually just going to come out in a spread concept, run a couple of different plays. You see I've set my audibles, and I'll just start out with a little double post play. So we'll run double post on offense. Now defense, again, we're talking about defense. We'll just hop straight into the adjustments. What I like to do, first things first, is going to be press your defense. Just that's Y or triangle and down on the left stick. Now again, we're playing man and zone. We're going to keep 2 zones on the field, and those 2 zones will be obviously our clad flats. Those are the ones we adjusted with our zone drops, meaning that outside cornerback and the other outside cornerback. We won't touch those players, but what we will do is we will man up both of these players in the slot. So I will man up Y on Y, and I will man up A on A. So we got our slot players manned up. The next thing you're gonna do is actually really cross-man these safeties. So cross-manning is when you man up a player on the left side with a receiver on the right side. So I'm gonna man up the safety on B, and I'm going to man up RB on X. Now, this is just the base way to run it. Another way you could actually run it is to sort of do the opposite, where I would man up my safety on the slot receiver, man up these these slot corners on the outside receiver. But when you do that, you have a bigger chance to get burnt on obviously post streaks, and I really don't recommend running that style of defense. That's just another way you could run it. Who knows, maybe if they're in like the red zone, that's something I like to mix in. But like I mentioned, we're going to cross-man these safeties. And the reason that you don't cross-man corners is you actually can't anymore, but you can still cross-man safeties. So again, you will man up LB or L1 on that B wide receiver, and you will man up RB on X. And again, you can do the same thing against trips, any offensive formation really. Now, obviously, this is more of a pass defense, not really good against the run if you want. Again, you can't really even pinch your D-line out of big dime, so that's definitely something that's not too good, but you can actually shoot the gaps very well. I'm not really going to run inside zone, but that's just something to note. Now, we got 2 more players that are really useless on the play. So what I like to do is just throw this player in a middle third. One of these players, again, whoever you prefer to use her. And then you will obviously use the player on the blitz. So here is a look at your defensive player. You see everybody's manned up. And again, you might be wondering, what if they throw B on like a streak? What if they throw X on a streak? Now, if you notice your opponent doing that, I would recommend just moving these players a little bit inside. Again, they really won't burn them because, again, keep in mind your cloud flats are on 20 yards. So by the time they get past that cloud flat, they should be manned up by the safety. So again, I'll just go ahead, snap the football here, and we will see what is open. Again, Y, maybe the only thing that's open. B was open, I guess, a little bit right there. And again, there are certain routes that will be better against like the cross man. Obviously, a slant will perform pretty well, but again, you're not going to shade over the top, so those cloud flats should be able to press those wide receivers on the outside, prevent them from getting a quick release on like a quick slant or whatever. But again, I know this is a lot of adjustments. This is meant to be more of an advanced type defense rather than a beginner style. I have uploaded multiple videos with little adjustments. So again, this one is a little bit more advanced. But yeah, this is definitely something that will throw off your opponent, especially with pre-play on. He will see the Tampa 2. He'll be like, what is happening? Why is everybody completely going in different spots? It'll definitely throw him off. But again, you will press your DBs for the setup press, man up Y on Y, man up A on A. And again, if it is trips, usually both your slot corners will go on the trip side, so this isn't a worry that you can still man them both up on the slot receiver. Again, you will man up L1 on B and R1 on X, and then you will just throw one of these players in a middle third like so. So again, it seems like a lot of adjustments, but if you actually can get down the adjustments, it's not too bad. And it's really not a whole lot of adjustments. Again, you notice I'll user these routes. Look at the pass rush right there. I know Calais Campbell has abilities, but EA decided to buff pass rush. Not a good decision in my opinion, but you can use it to the defense's advantage. As you see right here, we're getting instant pressure against 5 6-man protections, only rushing 3 people. There's no reason to rush 4 people when 3-man rush is this good, and that's why I made this video out of like a big dime rather than a big nickel over G or a nickel normal. Now again, you could also transfer this concept to a 2-3-6, big dime 2-3-6, or a $3-2-6 formation. So again, it doesn't have to be out of big dime. That's just personally what I like to run it in, because I like to mix in this cover 2 sink blitz that works pretty well. But yeah, the adjustments press, man up those 2 players, cross man. Again, you see I did it relatively quickly. Obviously, if they snap the ball in 1 second, they might get you maybe forgetting an adjustment like a middle third or something like that. So be careful. But again, I'd really never get quick snapped with this. If someone's a really good passer, then obviously it's not too much of a worry. They will be setting up their offense. And again, you see it takes me 2, maybe 3 seconds to just man everybody up, and then obviously just put that player in the middle third. Now, let's just call it a different play. Let's go with the PA read. Now, something else you could do with your defenders is I could actually, let's say he's never attacking the middle of the field, and again, this is going to be more riskier, but maybe I throw A in like a curl flat, and in this case, my curl flats would be set to 5 yards. So it would look like this, and in doing this, what you're pretty much doing is just double flatting one side. If you notice him maybe getting like a zig route or a running back route, and again, if I wanted to, I could always man up the running back. Let's say he's sending the running back out every play, then you will man him up. But yeah, also with that defender that will be in the middle third, you could also throw him in like a QB spy. But really, a lot of people are sending out the running backs this year, so I would recommend manning him up or putting a curl flat to the side you think him on. Usually I'll man him up. But again, if he's blocking him, I definitely do recommend having that middle third on your football field. That's just me personally. Again, I'm just giving you guys a couple of ideas to run with the defense. You can really adjust at your will, do whatever you want. But yeah, we'll snap the ball again. We are in a new play art. You see the zig gets covered. Look at the post. Post, maybe it's a little separation. We can get back with our user. And really, that's going to be your responsibility as a user, is more so defending maybe a quick slant. But really good is you won't really get burnt over the top by this. So again, you're not shading over the top. So really drags, zig routes, out routes, flat routes, slant routes, certain things like that will be defended a lot better. Slant routes can still get separation, but if they're, completely press, then it's not going to be as effective. And again, just remember to cross man those players. The tip that I've mentioned is you can move those players in just a couple of steps inside the hash marks if it is on the middle hash or whatever. Yeah, if they were on like the left hash, you wouldn't really have to move in this player as much, but again, just to be safe. And then maybe you want to man up the running back or whatever. Again, I will call this PA read play. We'll snap the ball. I'll actually run through the play action. Look at the zig. You see maybe a little separation on that post, and actually to get more separation when I moved him in. So again, sometimes when you move him in and they're hitting like a crossing pattern, that's why I usually don't like to move him in. But again, if you notice him like throwing on a streak, you obviously do. For pretty much any other instance, look at this player. He's going to defend the post, but since he's so far like out, or since he's more in, he's actually going to get there like on the break, and that's what caused him to do it. If he's further out there, the receiver will break, and then you can get there. But you see, we are already getting like a block shed right when that happens, and sometimes you're not going to get sheds, but be careful. You see, look at the other route. I'm not sure what this is. This might just be a streak. It's like a bumpable streak. So he actually didn't get pressed there. Not sure why, but you see, really, he has a small window, but again, you can move him over. You can do whatever you want, and usually someone will be on a hash mark. What I mean by that is they will be like right here. So if they're really, when they're on the left hash, your worry more so is going to be the B receiver. And if you don't feel comfortable with the cross man adjustments, you can always just, again, man them up just like this, where you don't cross man, you just man them up to that solo side, and it still should have sort of the same effect. Again, you can man up the running back, you can put him in the middle third, you can put him on a spy, you can put him on a curl flat, you can do whatever you want. You can always spy a D lineman rush 2 if you want. Not the biggest fan of that, but again, let's run dagger here, just a different play. You see everything's going to be covered. I can mix in this, and that's a lot more of a safer defense, I would say. But yeah, just giving you guys a couple of ideas on what to do. I think this defense is very good. I like to mix it in. I wouldn't say this is necessarily an every down defense. You always want to mix in like some base cover 2 man. But yeah, overall, as far as confusing your opponents, I think this is one of the most confusing defenses from an offensive standpoint in the game. So I definitely recommend mixing it in. Again, it'll be in pretty much every playbook. You can run it out of dollar, big dime, whatever you want. Any 4DB formation, you can also run it out of like just a base dime normal. So yeah, it's pretty much going to do it for the video. If you guys did enjoy, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and peace. I'm out of here.